So I just started the recording. So the topic for today is we have to first okay. So it is it much disturbance? Means it is creating more disturbance or I think so you have to deal with it. Someone is taking waiting, you know, next to me. Little bit okay. I cannot do anything. I cannot tell him that he should not talk to the client. Okay, so okay, so let me start the session. So this is what I was talking that I have to talk about these two topics. Array list is the first topic. Is the first topic. And the second is we are going to start the Selenium. Okay, we will try to see the basics. Okay, the Selenium as well. So first of all, let's discuss what is this array list. And before discussing the why we are using array list, okay, I have to first discuss why we should use array list. So let me first open. So are you getting disturbance more? Anyone tell me so that I can change my what I can say, change my place. Hello. I think okay. So okay, I will then continue. Okay. So let me open this. Okay. So what I have to do? Okay, so we are discussing why we should use array list. Okay, so suppose let us first discuss this array. Okay, so as you have already studied this topic, so there is one problem in array. As you can see, suppose this is my array. Okay, this is my array. Suppose it has one element, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, so suppose these are the indexes 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So suppose I have a requirement that I have to delete one element from the array. If I have to delete one element, okay, so if I have to delete one element, suppose I have to delete this element, this one. So after deletion of this, what our final array will look like? So it will look like something like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Okay, so after what will happen? These are the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I delete the element which is at index 1, okay, so what will happen? 2 will come here. So after the deletion of this element, this one, 4 will come here. Okay, so 4 will come here because 3 is removed, and 5 will come here. So 5 will come here, and you can see there is no element inside this, right? You can see that even after deletion of you have 4 element earlier, you have 4 elements here. Here it should be 3 elements. See here there are 3 elements, but you can see the blocks are 4, right? Again you are wasting one more space. So this is what I am saying, that after the deletion of the element, array has not changed its size. Okay, it has not, it has not changed its size remains the same. So this is the issue which array have, size not change. And suppose if I have another requirement, okay, I have an array like this, I am taking this time. What is the problem we will face in array if we insert an element? So suppose this is my array 2, 3, 4,
Right.
and then 5. So if I have to insert an element at the here, if I have to insert 15 here, okay, in place of 3, so 15 I have to insert. So our final array, how it will look like? See, as I've told you earlier, that array will not change its size at a runtime. So here also the size of the array will remain 4. So 2 will come here. Okay. So instead of 3, 15 will come. So 15 will come here. So that after that 3 will come here, and then 4 will come here. So 3 will come here, 4 will come here. So again you can see this element, last one, is lost. Okay, so it is not a good practice that you have lost your data in case of array. So this one element is lost, which is not good. So to deal with this problem, Java developers has introduced a new concept, which is array list. Okay, so which is array list. So if we use array list, we can deal with both of these problems. First of all, our element will not lost if we use array list. Okay, and moreover, we will not be dealing with empty spaces, means this block is wasted. Okay, so I will tell you now that how the array list works. So as of now, are you able to see that what are the problem we are facing in case of array, as I have explained now? Okay, sure, thank you very much. So let me open my next slide as well. So suppose this time this is my array list. So it is very similar to arrays, but have some benefits. Like suppose this is my array list. This is my, I am writing in short, array list. Okay, array list. Okay, so suppose this is 2, this is 3, 4. Suppose 4 elements are there. Indexes are starting from 0, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose I have another requirement, like again in case of array we have inserted an element last time. Here you can see I am taking this scenario again with array list, this time with array list. So you can see, let me come to the next slide. So this is array list, this is array list, and I have to insert an element. Insert. Okay, so what will happen? After that, suppose I have to insert 15 here. Again 15 we are inserting in place of 3. So 15 I have to insert here. Okay, I will have to do like this. 15 I have to insert here. So after the insertion, see what our array list will look like. Okay, so what will happen after that? See, this time size is 3 here, sorry, 4 here. 4 is our size, but as soon as you add one item in the array list, we are adding one item, so the size will increase by 1 as well. So here the size of our array list will become 5. So 2 will already be here, so 2 will definitely going to come here. After that we are inserting 15. 15 will come here. Okay, after that 3 will move here. Okay, 4 will move here. So how our array list will look like? 3 will come here, 4 will come here as well, and moreover the last element will come here automatically. So this way you can see, in case of arrays what was happening, we are losing this element, but in case of array list our element is not lost, because array list has the capability to resize its shape at runtime. So I think it is clear that, are you able to see that why array list is better than array. Any issues? Okay. Yeah, yeah. I will now come to why, how we can remove the empty space as well. But as of now, is it clear? Okay. So I think I should move forward. So I was taking one more example like deletion. Earlier you can see why deletion, you are wasting one space, right? Because the size remains fixed. You have no element here. Okay, but if you use array list, you can see, suppose deletion is there. Deletion operation is performed on array list. So suppose this is my array list 2, 3 and then 4. Okay, so indexes are 2, 1, 0. So if I have to delete this element, okay, so our array list will look like this. If I have to delete, I am deleting 4 from here, okay. So our array list will look like this. See, first of all, what is the size here? Size is 3. We have 3 element here. And after the deletion, size should be 2, because one element is already deleted. So in this here you can see 2 will be here. Okay. After that 3 will be here, and that's it. In case of array list, it has decreased its size at runtime. See, it is not allocating any more memory to any other block. But in case of arrays, you are seeing that our memory is wasted. So this is how array list work, and this is the benefit which we can get over arrays. So you can see, should I proceed to my Eclipse so that I can show it practically? Okay. I will also show you in debugging mode that how this list is changing its size. Okay. And why we are talking about this concept, because we are going to use this array list when we are going to make our Selenium test cases. Okay. So it is very important that you should know how to create an array list, how to insert an element in an array list, how to delete an element in an array list. Okay. So let me open my Eclipse editor very fast. I think I have already started recording. Okay, so it's good. So Eclipse is open. So suppose I'm deleting, let me delete both these classes. Let me remove this, and let me remove this as well. Okay, so I am not creating a new project here. Okay, so don't look this project name as of now. We should focus on the concept. So let me create a new class. Suppose the class name is array list concept. Fine. Okay, so after that public. Okay, so let me remove this comment. So let me create an array list. Okay, so to create an array list, we have a class called array list, and we have to create one object of that class. Let's see how I am going to make this. I will write array list. Okay, I will tell you why I am writing a string here. As of now, you can see obj equals to new array list. You can write a string here. After that you can put braces. Okay, this is the way we have to create object. This is the new keyword, and with the help of new keyword, object of array list is created. And see, it is throwing one error. It is saying import this package, because this package will have the class array list. So I am importing it, and you can see the error will be gone. So error is no more in our program. And why I am writing string here, you should see, I am saying that in this array list I have to store only integer value. I have to store only integer value. Okay, so this is the reason I am saying that sorry, not integer, it is a string. So by providing like this, I am saying that in this array list it will store only string value. If you try to put integer value, then it will throw one error. Okay, it will not allow you to store any integer value. But what if you have to add integer here? Then how you have to deal? If you have to add integer here, simply write integer. Simply write integer here as well. So now this array list will able to store the integer values like 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so on. But it will not allow you to store this string variable. Okay, so here let me first take a string. Okay, string array list. So I am writing string and a string here as well. So object is already created and our object name is obj. So I will write string. Okay, fine. So what I will do this. So first of all we have to add some elements in this array list. So there is a method called add. It is a predefined method in Java inside ArrayList class, and with the help of this obj we will call this method as we used to do it in the earlier ways. Okay, so this is a method insert an element. We will use to insert an element in this array list, and the type of the element is string. So I am commenting it. So you can see if I use this object, if I put this and I will press dot, you can see so many methods are here, so many methods are here. But as of now we are interested in this one obj.add. So what I will pass, let me pass as it is of string type. I will write, suppose I am writing my name here as well, Sumit. I have added one element in this list. Moreover, one more point I would like to tell, that by default size is 10, means the how many elements you can store in this array list by using add method is 10 by default. But suppose if I am adding 10 elements, suppose let me add 5 elements as of now. One more thing is that this array list allow duplicate value. See, here are the duplicate value, but it will easily store it in the array list. Okay, because array list allow duplicate value. So after that what I will do, I will try to print this array list. Simply write this. Suppose I am writing this object as like this. It will be good if I write like this, so that it will be easy to understand. Yes, this is an array list object. Here also I will change one by one. And here as well. Okay, so what happened, we have added 5 elements in this list, and I will simply print this object, and you can see how our output looks like. Let me run this program very quickly. So you can see this is our array list, and moreover you can see that these are the duplicates, but it is allowing you to store the duplicate values inside array list. So this is one thing. Okay, after that there is one more method to find the size of array list. Use size method. So there is one method by the help of which you will be able to know what is the size of this list. Okay, so its size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me print it like this, system.out.println size of array list is, I will write with the help of this object. This is my object name, a list is my object name dot. You can see size method is there. You can see here what it is saying. If you use size method, I will return the number of elements in this list. Okay, so it will return the counting how many numbers are in this list. So see, you can write like this, and if you right click this, so you can see the size of the array list is 5, because 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, 4 element, 5 element. So till now it is clear to everyone. Okay. Okay, so what we should do next, there is one more method. Okay, we have to remove one element from this list. Okay, first of all, let me debug this program. Okay, let me first explain this remove method in this. If we have to remove one element from the array list, okay. So suppose, let me also write separate names so that you will not be confused. Pankaj, Aman, Neha, and suppose I am writing Jalaj. Okay, so these are the 5 different names. So also we should try to print what it is printing first. So it has stored 5 elements, and you can see Sumit, Pankaj, Aman, Neha, Jalaj. So this is our array list and size is 5. So what the remove method will do, suppose you have to remove this Pankaj from the list. Okay, so you can use remove method. So the index, you can see the index of this is 0, index of this is 1, 2, just like arrays. Also let me debug this. You will be able to know that what I'm trying to say. If I am debugging this, click on switch. Okay, so you can see on the right hand side, this is our array list object, and it has 4 values on the right hand side. So index of Sumit is 0, as I have written here. Index of Pankaj is 1, and 2 and 3. Okay, so as of now I am not proceeding it forward. Let me okay, so I was talking about remove method. So suppose if you have to remove this, what I will write, I will use this object so that I can call remove method. So a list dot remove. So it is saying which index element you want to delete. I have to delete this, so I will provide 1 here. What I will provide, I will provide 1 here. Okay, so after that we will try to print what is our what. So as I have told you in the PowerPoint presentation as well, when you remove one element, okay, so size will also decrease, because this is array list, not array. Unlike arrays, in arrays the size is fixed at before the start of the program and it will not change. But in array list, you can see if I print size of the array list now after the removal of one element. Let me write array list after removal of element. Okay, sorry. Okay, so after that, okay, so it has removed one element, Pankaj, okay, from this list, and moreover, let me also print it, the final list, array list. Let me write the comment, array list after deletion of Pankaj. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Let me, so according to it should not print Pankaj in the output. Okay, so you can see here, first of all, this is our original array list. Okay, so after the removal of one element, size become 4 because we have removed Pankaj, and you can see at the last, after deletion of Pankaj, lift Pankaj, these are the 4 elements which we are left with. Okay, you can see that it has decreased its size at runtime, unlike arrays. Okay, there this concept was not possible. And let me also debug this program so that you can understand it better. So right clicking, debug, and then I will run it. So after the execution of this, see on the right hand side, these are the 5 elements which we have in our array list, and with the help of this I will print it. So I will simply say step over, and see in the console you have printed the array list, this one. Okay, right hand side one you have printed in the console. I am using this method as of now. Okay, so then what I will do, again, see, after the execution of this, you will see this list will shrink and Pankaj will be removed from this list. Okay, I let me, after, see, as soon as I click this, you will see the changes in the right hand side. So I am clicking it, and you can see that how beautiful it is. This array list has uh, shrinked its size to 4 and Pankaj is removed. And moreover, you can see that no memory is wasted here after the deletion as well, because the size is decreased at runtime. See, this is runtime. Okay, so after that, in the runtime only, I will simply say the size will become 4 because we have now 1 2 3 4 elements. Okay, and after that, what I have to do, I will simply click on this one, array list after deletion. I will print these 4 elements. I will step over and you can see array list after deletion of Pankaj is, it will be like this. So this is so I have shown you in debugging mode that how this array list is increasing or decreasing its size. So I hope it is clear to you all. At least say yes or no, how I will know that whether you are getting the concept or not. Okay, it is very simple, right? As I think. Okay, so one more thing, see, I am printing it like this, like that, as of now. uh, we can also print this array list with the help of for each loop. Let me show you very quickly. Suppose as of now I am removing it. Let me remove this and let me remove this as well. And there is a, with the help of for each loop, I will print loop can also be used to print array list. Okay, so what I will do, I will write one for each loop. I hope you know how to write it. So I will also debug it, don't worry if you don't know how to write it. Okay, so let me call it as value. Value is my string variable and this is my array list. Okay, after that I will just simply write print the value. See, let us see that what is the output it is printing. See, it is printing Sumit. Earlier it was printing this way, but after using for each loop, we are able to print Sumit, Pankaj, Aman in the separate line. Okay, so it is printing in the separate line because I'm writing print ln here. Otherwise it will print in one line. You can see if we don't use print ln, then it will print in one line. Okay, so you can see if we don't use print ln, so it will print in one line. So I'm writing print ln here. Okay, so let's also check how this is working. We will debug this program again. So as of now you can see I will quickly come to for each loop. You can say it has already printed. See here, you can see this is our object, this one. Okay, this object has 5 value: Sumit, Pankaj, Aman, Neha, Jalaj. You can see here as well. See, okay, let me expand it. Okay, see, you can see this array list has 5 values: Sumit, Pankaj, Aman, Neha, Jalaj. So when this for each loop will execute first time, this first value at the zeroth index, Sumit, will come to value, and after that, well, we are printing the value here. So what will happen if I execute it one time? Suppose if I am executing it one time, so this will come inside. See, it is running for the first time, so Sumit will come inside value. You can see here as well. Value, what is the value is, it is Sumit. So Sumit will come here, and after that we are able to print Sumit. After that again, this will run second time. So second time this value Pankaj will come in the value, and the value will come here. Okay, which is Pankaj. Let me show you. You can see Pankaj will be here. Okay, Pankaj will come second time. So it has printed Pankaj. Okay, so it will run third time. This time, what is the value? It will pick Aman. So Aman will be fetched from this array list, this object, and its value will be cached here. So this time, you can see uh, Aman has come here, and its value you can see in the output. You can see Aman is printed. After that, this for each loop will run fourth time. So first time it printed Sumit, second time Pankaj, third time Aman, and fourth time uh, it will fetch Neha. So what, as soon as I execute this, Neha will come here in this string variable value. Okay. So if I do like this, you can see Neha will come here. Okay. Then we will simply print it in the console. You can see Neha is printed, and now it will run for the fifth time. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. This time Jalaj is the value, and it will be cached here. So as soon as I execute it, you can see Jalaj will come here. Okay, so after that, again it will print, and after that this for loop will not execute, and we will come here. Okay, we will come here. You can see, let me execute. Okay, so we came here and our program is completed as soon as I press this. So this is the way. This is you can use both the ways to print the list. Either use this way or you can use this way. So is it clear to you all? Okay. So it is not a very hard topic. It is very easy topic, and I think that this is very easy to understand than arrays as well. Okay. So I have completed the today's, oh sorry, not today's agenda. There is one more topic which is very important, and I am very sure that most of the people have joined this batch to learn Selenium. Okay, so this is completed. Okay, yeah, say here. So I'm saying this will increase its size or decrease its size. See, if I provide like this, okay, you don't have to increase it, it will increase automatically. Suppose if I do like this, like this, like this, like this, it will automatically increase its size. See, if I run this program, you don't have to do anything. See, it has printed like this. It has stored so many elements. Okay, so you don't have to do anything to increase its size. It will increase automatically. Okay. So we have deleted name only, right? I think if you write like this, wait, huh? You are saying that if I should, let me first remove this. Okay, so I think you can, if you write a list dot remove. Yeah, there is a way. Let me tell you. See, if you want to remove this, instead of index, you can remove. I think if you put like this, Sumit. Yeah, it will work. I think it should work. Yeah. Okay, so what will happen? Let us try to debug this program. Okay, so you can see it is not executed. Okay, as of now, you can see 4 elements are there, and I am removing Sumit. So as soon as I execute this statement, this one, highlighted one, what will happen? You can see Sumit will be deleted from the right hand side. Okay, this one, and you are left with 3 elements. You can see it has removed Sumit, and you got 3 elements, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so this way you can also do. Is it clear? Okay, so we will quickly jump to our very important topic, which is selenium. So first of all, let me discuss its definition. Yeah. Okay, I have already explained that, but let me explain one more time. See, these are the index 0. Sorry. Okay, you have to rename it, right? Okay, so there is a method. See, there are so many methods, but you can use this set. What you have to do, instead of Pankaj, this is our index. Okay, tell me what is the name should I rewrite? Industry IT Selenium. Okay, something like this. So let me debug this program very quickly again. I hope it is not coronavirus, huh? Okay, thank God. Good, good. So you can see Pankaj is written here. Okay. After that, I will execute this statement. You see, instead of Pankaj, this value will be present here. Okay, so it has renamed it. Also, I will print this. So you can see on the instead of Pankaj, it came. Okay, so it is clear. Okay. Yeah, you can search on internet. There are so many. You will get idea about it. Okay, you can do it here only, right? If you write a list dot, okay, so it is capital L. So you can see these are the all the methods present here only. You can see if you just, yeah, you can read what this method is doing. There are so many methods. Okay, you can read it one by one. Okay, okay. So someone was asking that how to delete it by index, right? Who was asking? Okay, so I am commenting this. Okay, so if I have to remove by index, a list dot remove. Okay, capital L is there. Dot remove. Okay, so it is saying put the index value. So if I have to remove Neha, okay, let's take Aman. So index value of Aman is 2. If I remove this, Aman will be removed. If I right click, again debug. Okay, so you can see there, this is our original list, Sumit, Pankaj, Aman, Neha. If I remove this, so this value will be removed. You can see Aman will be removed. You can see on the right hand side, Aman is removed and you are left with 3 string element in our array list. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, so I think now I will come to our very important topic, and we should start with this selenium. Okay, so I'm removing this line.
The first thing I look
Okay, so as you can see here, what is the definition of selenium, right? I will say selenium is a set of tools to automate a web browser. Okay, to automate web browser. Okay, so browsers can be Chrome browser, Firefox browser, and Internet Explorer as well. So it is a set of tools by which we can automate our web browser. Okay, and there is one misconception among students that they think that Selenium is a separate tool. So let me make it clear to you. It is not a Selenium is not a that we say Selenium. So Selenium is not a separate tool. It is a collection of jar file. I will talk about jar files later in this video. As of now, you should understand that it is not a separate tool. It is a collection of jar file, and with the help of jar file, we will give our Eclipse so that the power of Selenium, Selenium, so that Eclipse can understand our Selenium test cases. Okay. So again, I am saying it is not a separate tool. It is a collection of jar file. I will tell you that how you will get these kind of files later. Uh, and with the help of jar file, we will give our Eclipse the power of Selenium so that our Eclipse can understand our Selenium test cases. Okay. And the next point is advantages. You can see it is an open source. So by open source, I mean that suppose if you have to use the software, okay, so you have to either you can purchase it or you can use it for free. So if you use Selenium, then you don't have to pay the Selenium guys to use this the Selenium. Okay, you can use it for free. So Selenium is free first of all. Okay, you can see that there is one more I am not getting the full form of this as of now. This is also a tool, QTP. It is not open source, means you have to pay some amount of money to use this. Yeah, I am not remembering this because I don't use it much. So, okay, whatever maybe, our concept is that QTP is not open source, unlike Selenium. Okay, so you have to pay some amount of money to use this tool. So this is the reason you can see that people don't use this tool. People are switching to Selenium because it is free, and you can see that Selenium can work on Windows, it can work on Linux as well, and other operating system as well. Okay, and the fourth point is Selenium supports many languages like Java, C Sharp, Python. Ruby is also one of the language. So we are dealing with Java. So our main focus is on Java, and we are going to continue this Selenium journey in Java programming language only. So it has one disadvantage as well. It cannot automate CAPTCHA. I hope you have heard about CAPTCHA. You cannot automate CAPTCHA with Selenium. You can automate. But you have to use some kind of third-party tools, right? So Selenium cannot alone automate. There's some kind of third-party tools. Okay. So before you start Selenium, okay, till now it is clear. Advantages, disadvantages. What is Selenium? Okay. Thank you. So you can see. Okay, so what I was saying, that before you start Selenium, working on Selenium, you should have Java in your system. Okay, to check it, you can use use Java version. Okay, in CMD. Moreover, you have to set the Java path. If you do not set Java path, then it may happen that your Java will not install correctly. Okay, so you have to set this path, Java path. Okay, so one more question is that why we have to set a Java path. Okay, so let me tell you. See, this is our Eclipse. Okay, we are going to write our every test case of Selenium here only. So what will happen? This suppose this is our Selenium code. Okay, so this Selenium code don't know where our Java is located by default. Okay, so what it will do? It will first talk to this Java path. Okay, where our Java is located. So after that, what will happen? It will go to that path and it will execute the Java files, so that which are necessary for the execution of our program. So this is the reason that we are setting the Java path here. Okay, you can see here, if I open my where I am setting this, I hope you all know it because you have done it earlier according to me. You can see advanced system setting, environment variable. So this is my Java path. Okay, this is where my Java JDK is installed. So what will happen when we write our Selenium code here? If I write Selenium code here, so it by default don't have the knowledge where our Java is located. So first of all, Selenium code will go here, here, and it will see, okay, this is the location where our Java is present. It will go inside this directory, and after that it will use all the Java files that are necessary for the execution of our Selenium program. So this is the reason that why we have to set Java path. So I hope it is clear that why we are setting Java path as well, right? These 2 points are very important. Issues? Any issues? Okay, so let me proceed forward. I was saying that you have to check whether Java is installed in your machine or not. You can write Java version. Okay, if I press enter, you can see it is saying Java version is 14 in my machine. There may be some other version in your system as well, no issues in that. So I am having 14 version of Java. Okay, so what I was saying, let me create one more fresh project in Eclipse. Okay, so we will see how to give the knowledge of Selenium to our Eclipse with the help of jar file. So let me keep it. Okay, minimize it. Okay, so let me create a folder here. Okay, the folder name should be, let us give Selenium Java. This is my folder where I will create my project in Eclipse. So Selenium Java is my project, and after that I will simply click this because we don't require it anymore. Okay, so I will start my Eclipse again. Okay, so here I will click on browse, and then here inside this I will go to here. Okay, and here you can see Selenium Java. This is the folder I made, and I will select it, and I will select the folder. So whatever the code I will write, it will save in this directory. This is the reason I have given a separate folder. So I will click on launch. The Karthik is there. Is Karthik is in this batch? Okay, he is not in this batch. Actually, he was facing some kind of Eclipse role. He was unable to launch Eclipse. Okay, anyways. So let me minimize this. Okay, I will click on workbench. Okay, so as this, let project first. Okay, so let me give Selenium demo. This is my project name. Click on next. After that, click finish. If you get any kind of error, okay, pop up like this, okay, you can continue. It don't have much effect on Selenium test case. Okay. Okay, one more thing I would like to tell, that sometimes you may see this kind of file, right? If you find it, I will suggest you to delete this file. I have seen that many times. I am getting unnecessary type of errors in my project if I don't delete this. So I am simply deleting it, and I don't require it as well. So delete this, and after that create a class. Okay, so suppose the class name is demo, and I am checking this as well, so that I will get this method in my class already. Otherwise I have to write it. So check this, finish. Okay, so as of now you can see that we have already done this so many times, right? As of now, this, see, this is my project name, Selenium demo. Okay, so I am saying Selenium demo do not have any knowledge of Selenium. Okay, it do not have any knowledge of Selenium. Why? Because we did not provide any jar files. Okay, so it do not have any knowledge of Selenium as of now. Okay, one more thing. See, uh, I think you have heard about the test suits. Here what we will see. Suppose this is my test suite, Selenium demo. Okay, understand this way. Selenium demo is my test suite. Okay, and what this demo is, this is my test case. Demo is my, so test case 1 we can say is demo. I can create another test as well, right? I will right click, new class, test 2. This is my second test case. Okay, I can create also one more test case as well, new class, test 3. So what I mean, okay, let me open this demo 1. I am saying that on a high level, this is my test suite. Selenium demo is my test suite, and inside that test suite, there can be so many test cases. Okay, because test suite is a collection of test case. So these are my test cases. Okay, so understand this way, it will be better. Okay, so what I will do now, let's give our project, our Selenium demo project the knowledge of Selenium. Okay, after that it will, whatever the command you write in Selenium, we are not writing the Selenium code as of now. We will do it in from the next class. Okay, as of now it do not have any knowledge. So what I will do, I have to import some jar files. Okay, if I will import jar files, then Eclipse will be able to recognize your Selenium code. Okay, so how we will going to import the jar files in this Selenium demo project? Okay, so we have to go to Google. Okay, so see clearly, type here Selenium jars. Okay, so after that you will see this is the official website of Selenium, this one, first one. Click here, click here, and after that go below the website. You can see here so many, as we are using Java. Okay, so we are interested in this jar file. Okay, you can see you can download this jar file from here. If I will click on download, you will see I am getting one pop-up saying this file is already in my machine. Okay, so I am having it already, but still I will click, I will download it. Okay, so it has downloaded and it is in zip format. So let me open where it is downloaded. Open the folder. Here this folder is downloaded, and inside this folder you will see, when I extract, you will see the collection of jar file. Let me zip it, unzip it very fast, extract, and I am having 10 files already, so I am replacing it. Okay, because I already have in my machine. So you can see here what it is written. Type is executable jar file. Okay, so this jar file will help us, will help Eclipse, if I say. Okay, so that Eclipse can recognize our Selenium test case. So what I will do, you will see in this folder as well, there are 5 more jar file. Okay, I will suggest you should not miss any of this jar file, otherwise you can get some kind of error in your code. Okay, so we will import these 7 file, 1 file, 2 file, and these 5 files in our project. Okay, so what I will do, I will go to Eclipse. Okay, I will right click this project, go on properties, go on Java build path. Okay, this one, Java build path. After that come to library for tab, and after that in the class path. Okay, you don't have to provide here. Okay, in the class path, select it, highlight it by simply clicking it once. After that you can see there is, you can see add external jar. It is saying because it is in my local machine, so I will click it. Okay, so where it is located, let's check it out. Okay, I think it is in compressed folder. I think this is the one, this is zip format. You can see this is the one. Okay, so what I will do, I will first select both of these. I will click on open. You can see it has got 2 jar files. This project, our Selenium demo project, has got the knowledge of 2 jar file. Again I will select this because I have to select the 5 remaining jar file as well. So click on class path, click on add external jar again, and click here, click this lips folder. Okay, you will select all this and simply click open. After that apply. Okay, and then you click apply and close. So after that what will happen, after doing that, you will, your whatever the code you write here, okay, Selenium code you will write here, here will be recognized by Eclipse. So I hope you are able to understand why we have to set a Java path variable and how you can give the knowledge of Selenium to your Eclipse with the help of jar file by placing the jar file in class paths. Let me show you again. This is the property tab. Okay, in the libraries, click on class path and add these 7 jar file. Okay, and after that click on apply and close. So by doing this, Selenium code you will write here will be recognized by Eclipse. Okay, so is it clear to you all?
इसमें तो
Sorry. Yeah, with Java only. Yes, yes. Yeah, see, TestNG is not a, I will say, programming dependent. Right? If we are dealing with Java, we will do TestNG with Java. No issues in that. This will be covered later on.
ये वाला। अब मैं इसको मल्टी करता हूँ।
Yeah, after we will TestNG is a framework. So you will come to framework part after you will have, I think, 15 to 20 classes on Selenium. After that, you will come to TestNG. So here you will use Selenium. You will use TestNG in Selenium. Okay, which is a framework. Okay, okay. So, and any more issues?
मल्टी करता हूँ।
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I am saying whatever the Selenium code you will write, okay, that so how your Eclipse will recognize what the code you are writing. So this jar file will help Selenium. Okay, they will help Selenium. Jar file will help Selenium to understand. This is the main purpose. Selenium code. This is the only main purpose. You can see if I think I am not able, I will not be able to open the jar. You cannot open it. Let me do this. I think it is here. Okay, it is not here. It is here. Okay, you can see that what it is doing. Maybe in properties. This is just like you know when you install Java in your PC, right? So Eclipse will recognize your Java code. If you do not have Java, then how he will recognize that, right? So this is same. You can see that if you import a jar file, these jar files will contain some code, some lines of code. As of now, you cannot see it, as I've told you that. So they will help Eclipse to recognize your Selenium code. These are the main purpose of these jar file. Okay. Okay. So I think I hope that this session is interactive for you all. So we will see our first basic Java, sorry, not Java, Selenium program, that how to run a browser from your Eclipse with the help of coding, right? With the help of Selenium, how you will execute, how will you trigger this browser automatically, right? But we will see it in the next class because I don't have much time as of now. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with it. Is it fine? Okay, okay. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. Okay, thank you. Welcome.
अगर हम लोग ऐसा करेंगे